KTRF 730 here on your Monday morning. Freezing fine, 20 degrees. We'll have an update on the weather for the rest of the week, including that nasty winter weather watch. Birthdays and anniversaries later this hour. Time now for sports, scores and schedules, information. Good morning, Wade Allen.
Good morning, Bob. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Boy, what a busy weekend we talked about earlier this morning. So let's get right to it. Let's get scheduled activities today for you on Thief River Falls Radio. Right here on KTRF tonight, Lee Jennings will bring us Thief River Falls boys basketball. They're on the road. They're at Winnimac tonight. 7 p.m. pregame with Lee Jennings this evening. And another basketball game tonight, also boys basketball. Stephen Argyle on the road at Kitson County Central. That one in Hallock tonight. 7 p.m. pregame coverage with Travis on North Country 99.3 this evening. Bagley's at Red Lake, Pelican Rapids at Park Rapids, high school girls basketball couple contests here. We'll keep our eyes on East Grand Forks Central at Sacred Heart, and Ashby at Norman County East Ulan Hitterdal. Well, it was the Goodridge Grigla I-500 over the weekend, and again, big thank you to everybody involved putting that on. Let's go to your finals in the Pro Division. Aaron Christensen taking home the number one spot on a Polaris, total time 4 hours, 28 minutes, and 6 seconds, followed by Zach Hefferdal on an Arctic Cat, just over 4 hours, 31 minutes, and 1 second, and Taylor Bunky in third on a Polaris, 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 18 seconds for him. Semi-Pro Division, Derek Krug in a Polaris, 4 hours, 42 minutes, and a very close second, Oliver Olson on a Polaris, 4 hours, 42 minutes, and 50 seconds. Very close. And same with Keith Gainforth, man, also on a Polaris, 4 hours, 45 minutes, and 50 seconds. So that Semi-Pro Division, very close times between 1 and 3, or 1, 2, and 3. On the women's side of things, in the Pro Women Division, McLennan Klaus with a time of 5 hours, 9 minutes, and 45 seconds, followed by Gabby Hailstrom on an Arctic Cat, 5 hours, 17 minutes, and 52 seconds. So some impressive times up and down in all divisions, and a big congratulations again to everybody involved with the Goodridge Grigla I-500. Section 8A boys hockey tournament will continue on starting tomorrow. So let's go over what happened over the weekend. With the play-in games, Park Rapids moves on with a 6-5 win over Kitson County Central and a 10-1 win for Red Lake Falls over Lake of the Woods. So they move on to tomorrow's quarterfinal round, which looks like this. Number 1 Warroad will host Park Rapids and Warroad at 6 tomorrow night. Right here in Thief River Falls, the number 4 seed Prowlers will take on the number 5 seed Crookston Pirates. 6:30 pregame with Lee Jennings on KTRF tomorrow night at the Ralph. East Grand Forks, number 2 seed, taking on number 7 seed Red Lake Falls in East Grand Forks at 6. And the number 3 seed Detroit Lakes taking on Bagley Foston in Detroit Lakes at 7 tomorrow night. Then on Saturday would be the semis at the Ralph. And next Thursday, the 26th, will be the championship of Section 8A at the Ralph as well. Section 8AA boys hockey looks like this. Moorhead, the number 1 seed, taking on Alexandria, the number 8 seed. This also a quarterfinal round for the Section 8AA gets underway tomorrow as well. Number 4 seed St. Cloud taking on number 5 seed Bemidji in St. Cloud. Number 2 St. Michael Albertville taking on number 7 Brainerd. And number 3 Elk River Zimmerman taking on the 6th seed Roseau at Elk River tomorrow night at 5 p.m. So good luck to the Roseau Rams. Those are Tuesday. Saturday again would also be the semis. And Wednesday next week would be the Section 8AA championship. Congratulations to some Section 8A honorees for the girls hockey team members. Blake Schultz, senior from East Grand Forks. This is the first team honoree. Lila Dagler, junior from Thief River Falls. Congratulations to her. Olivia Anthony, freshman from Warroad. Grace Knudsen, sophomore from Thief River Falls. Viv Markowicz, senior from Warroad. And Peyton Rowley, senior from Warroad. And Section 8A second team honorees. Jaylee French, junior from Warroad. Emma LaPlante, senior from Crookston. Emmy Hardwick, senior from Warroad. Adley Bigness, sophomore from Crookston. Ava Kleinbutcher, senior from East Grand Forks. And Regan Haley, senior from Warroad. And number 1 McKenna Carr, junior from Thief River Falls, as a second team honoree. Section 8 head coach of the year, Brett Johnson of Thief River Falls. And Section 8A assistant coach of the year goes to Brian Larson of East Grand Forks. Congratulations to everyone on the Section 8A girls honoree teams. The 2026 state Class A girls hockey tournament looks like this. Things will get underway on Wednesday. All games at the Grand Casino Arena. the number 8 seed Laverne will take on the number 1 seed Warroad. First up at 11 a.m. on Wednesday morning at the Grand Casino Arena, followed by Proctor Hermantown taking on Dodge County at 1. St. Cloud will take on Breck School at 6, and then Mankato East will take on Blake at 8 p.m. with the semis on Friday and the championship game on Saturday. Third place would also be Saturday, and then the consolation round would get underway on Thursday with the consolation round winners also on Saturday, all at the Grand Casino Arena. Good luck to the World Warriors ladies, girls hockey team in state starting Wednesday night. 8 AA individual section team will get underway with the pairings at Alexandria High School this coming Friday. Here's what happened over the weekend on the Section 8 AA wrestling tournament over the weekend. Thief River Falls on Friday would win over Detroit Lakes 39-25. They would face Perham in the semis on Friday night. Perham would win that one 37-14. Perham would go on to win the Section 8 AA wrestling tournament over the weekend at Perham over Dilworth, Glendon Felton, 44-17. And again, the individual section tournament gets underway this Friday at Alexandria High School. Good luck to everyone involved there. Northland women and men's basketball teams hosted Gogebic on Saturday. Lady Pioneers continue to win with a 20-point game and 12 rebounds before double-double with Jade Reese. Lady Pioneers defeat Gogebic 70-54. They got 15 from Kenzie Dahl, 13 each from Josie Peterson and Faith Lilly. With the win, the Pioneers moved to 20-4 overall, 10-0 in the conference. Lady Pioneers will finish out the weekend on the road at Central Lakes on Saturday and Gogebic this coming Sunday, while the Northland men's team also picked up a big win as they got some balanced scoring against Gogebic on Saturday. They were led by Dane Cook with 22 points as the Pioneers picked up another win, 88-73. They got 13 each from Alex Loomis and Lewis Jones, 10 each from Ezrine Simeon and Ezekiel Obideran, as Northland moves to 14-10 overall, 9-2 in the conference play. Again, it's a road doubleheader this weekend for both the men and women. Again, Saturday, Central Lakes, Sunday in Gogebic. However, men will have a game on Wednesday night as they'll host Hibbing at 6:30 at Northland this Wednesday. Men's college hockey wrap-up over the weekend. Saw the Minnesota Gopher men's hockey team skate to a 2-2 tie on Friday, and Notre Dame would win on Saturday 3-2 over the Gophers, so a tough weekend for the Gophers team. It was a tough weekend for the Lady Gophers, too, as the number 2 Ohio State defeated the number 3 Lady Gophers 4-2 Friday and 3-1 Saturday, so after how things play out when they release the latest hockey rankings. And the number 3 rated UND Fighting Hawks picking up a couple victories over the weekend over Miami of Ohio, 1-0 Friday, and a 4-3 overtime win on Saturday. Well, Team USA has won 17 medals so far at the 2026 Winter Games, 5 gold, 8 silver, 4 bronze. Women's ice hockey team advanced to the semifinals after a dominant 6-0 win over Italy. They'll face Sweden today at 9:40 this morning for a spot in the gold medal game. Good luck to the women's team. The men's team capped off an undefeated group stage with a 5-1 victory over Germany yesterday, led by captain Austin Matthews. They secured a bye and will play their quarterfinal matchup coming up this Wednesday. While both American curling teams secured major comeback wins yesterday, the women's team, led by Tabitha Peterson, rallied for a 6-5 win over China, while the men's team defeated Norway 10-8 for their third straight victory, improving to a 4-2 record. And in bobsled, Elena Myers-Taylor and Callie Humphreys sit in second and third, respectively, midway through the inaugural women's Mon Bob, which is a single-person bobsled competition, with final runs scheduled for today. And in speed skating, world champion Kristen Santos Griswold was unexpectedly eliminated in the women's 1,000-meter quarterfinals earlier, missing the semis by less than 0.05 seconds. That's a tough break there. While the USA Stars won the 75th edition of the NBA All-Star Game weekend, defeating the USA Stripes 47-21 in the championship game of the newly introduced 3-team round-robin tournament, which was held over the weekend. Anthony Edwards was named the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP after totaling 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists across the day's games, and he talks about the plan for the rest of the season. So the event featured a new format pitting two U.S. teams separated by age into U.S. Stars, Younger, and the U.S. Stripes, with the veterans against one Team World of international players. Game 1 yesterday saw this: U.S. Stars versus Team World. They would win 37-35 in overtime. In Game 2 was U.S. Stripes versus U.S. Stars. Stripes would win that one 42-40. Then in Game 3, it was the Stripes versus Team World. Stripes winning that one 48-45. And then the championship would be the U.S. Stars, again defeating the U.S. Stripes 47-21. So a 4-game kind of round-robin style tournament at the 75th edition of the NBA All-Star Weekend Games. While Mara Brunn scored 20 points to help lead the Minnesota women's basketball team, who improved to 20-6 overall, 11-4 in the Big Ten, past the Wisconsin Badgers. 13. They fall to 13-13, 5-10 in the Big Ten, with an 83-60 win by the Lady Gophers on the road yesterday. And head coach Don Putzweit talks about the 20th win of the season, a big deal to her and the program. The Golden Gophers had 4 players in double figures who were led by Braun, who had those 20 points. Amaya Battle had tacked on 17. Sophie Hart helped out with 13 points and 6 rebounds. Tori McKinney, 12 points, and matched her career high with 5 steals on the day. Minnesota out-rebounded Wisconsin 29-26. The Gophers will return home Wednesday evening for a 7 p.m. tip against Ohio State at Williams Arena. We'll have that for you. 6:30 p.m. pregame on Real Country 1460 for the Lady Gophers. Well, the 68th running of the Daytona 500 was yesterday, and Tyler Reddick driving the number 45 Toyota for 23XI Racing. Reddick secured the first ever Daytona 500 victory for team co-owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. So your overall results look like this. Again, Tyler Reddick finishing number 1. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 2nd spot, followed by Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Brad Keselowski in the 5 spot. Zane Smith, Chris Bashir, and Riley Herbst rounding out the top 8. Josh Berry in 9, and Bubba Wallace coming in 10th place. The race ended with 2 separate multi-crashes on the final lap. Bubba Wallace led a race-high 39 laps, but finished 10th after being shuffled back during the late green flag pit stops. Zane Smith would win Stage 1. Bubba Wallace would win Stage 2. And William Byron, of course, was seeking his record 3rd consecutive Daytona 500 win, but finished 12th after suffering some early damage to his front-end suspension. Next up for NASCAR, they are in Atlanta next weekend. While Corey Morikawa won the 2026 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am over the weekend, ending a 28-month winless drought on the PGA Tour. He finished with a total score of 22 under at 266 total for the weekend, birdieing the final hole to secure a one-shot victory over Min Woo Lee and Sepp Straka. Tom Hoge finished in a tie for 14th at Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Hoge carded a final round 68 to finish the tournament at 17 under par. And congratulations to Jan Spunner of the UND Fighting Hawks. He was named a Mike Ricker Award finalist. Jan Spunner, of course, a freshman goaltender, is one of 10 goaltenders named as a semifinalist for the Mike Richter Award, which is presented annually to the nation's top goaltender in the NCAA Division I ranks, and that's been handed out since 2014. And Bob Tenote, on a kind of a unique deal, Tom Hoge, who finished again tied for 14th, taking home just under $343,000 for the weekend.
You can buy groceries.
You're right. Like you said, you can get that really expensive ketchup and maybe some Dijon mustard or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
busy weekend.
They'll see him coming at Hornbachers and roll out the good stuff.
Right? Oh,
back in town.
He was good this weekend.
Of course, Goodrich Grigla 500, 2 warm days of racing.
Yeah.
And what racers found was usually a hard first go around, and then things got pretty soft.
Right.
And the speeds started to decline a little bit, but a pretty good race up front in the pro division. Christensen and Herfindahl and the Bunkies put on a pretty good show.
Man.
I'd like to see that. So,
And it was kind of neat. I don't know if you would talk to Terry, but what I noticed when I left from my location yesterday, coming back, that course yesterday seemed to be maybe I didn't see the whole course from day one, but there was a lot more edge riding. Looked like yesterday.
Yeah, they I think they opened it up because of the snow conditions and warm conditions.
Sure.
Yeah, so the 500, again, well organized, well run, and fun to bring to you. Hopefully you enjoyed the 500. The Daytona 500, halfway across the world here, they were racing cars. Terrible finish.
Oh.
And that is the big argument.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall, I should have paid more attention, a veteran racer who no longer races. You know, so a guy who raced for like 20 years, now in his 40s, and he wrote a commentary, and he said, today's young kids don't know anything about racing. They just like to bump and grind.
Oh,
and Tyler Reddick's one of those young kids, and there was plenty of contact, you know, going to the finish line, and they ended up, you know, putting a lot of guys into the wall and spinning, and Reddick wins the race. Now, you know, he won.
All right.
No one's debating that he was the first car across, but there was a call for some reformation on how they race in NASCAR. So
I watched for a little bit yesterday afternoon when we got kind of done with all our stuff with the Goodrich Giggler 500, and I mean, there was one point they were like 3 wide, 4 wide. You know, you sneeze wrong, you're going to wipe out the whole 9 yards.
It was, what was it, lap 124 is what they call it, the big one.
Yeah.
You know, it was a 20-car wreck down the front straightaway. So.
Yeah, and you're not going to avoid that.
No, yeah, NASCAR's come a long way with developing cars that don't flip over anymore. And walls that don't, you know, well, ever since the Earnhardt death at Daytona many years ago, they've made many changes to make it safer. Unfortunately, some of these young racers, you know, in the race to make a name for themselves and win races, they have no issues with pushing and bumping and rubbing, and that's always been a part of racing, mind you.
Yep.
But you didn't take out your competitor.
Right.
Headed to the finish line.
Yeah, it really seems like there's more of that chipping. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, right?
That's a good
it really seems like there's more chippiness. Yeah, you know, and I mean, I'm not throwing him under the bus, but you know, Kyle Busch was one of those ones too in his early career. I mean, so yeah, it's a lot of, and it's all a lot of money. And it
lucky
is.
Nobody got seriously injured.
Right.
Something like that. That's the lucky deal. But yeah, the latest in information, and that's your first big race of the year.
Right.
You know, so we'll see how NASCAR proceeds from here. So, all right, lots of fun this week. Again, the Prowlers will be back in action in high school hockey tomorrow in the quarterfinals, and ready to make a chase for a Section 8 title. Good luck to them. We'll find out more about that a little bit later too. Wade, thank you.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you later. Sports News with Wade here on AM 1230, 93.3 FM. Birthdays and anniversaries just a few minutes away this morning.